If you have hip pain and you've been told you have hip arthritis and you're looking for some non-medical solutions, looking for exercise solutions that'll strengthen your hips and improve your mobility without having to subject your body to needles or to surgery, then this video is going to help you out. In today's video, we're going to talk about hip arthritis. We're going to talk about one of the big common strategies that you'll hear from doctors all over the place and why it doesn't work. We're going to talk about three exercises, not six, three exercises that you can do that are super simple, beginner level, that you do not need any special equipment for, that will help you build the strength of your hip muscles and improve your comfort levels. And we're going to talk about some other strategies that might help you relieve your hip pain and improve your overall hip mobility. And at the end of this video, I'll explain how to get a totally free follow-along version of this video. So stay tuned to the end. If you're ready, let's get ready to think right, move right, and feel right. Exercise number one is for your hip flexors, and you can do it while you are sitting there watching me on your screen. It's very simple. All you need to do is take one leg and lift it up, hold it up for a count of around 5, maybe 10 or 20 if you can hold it that long, and then slowly back down. The goal here is to feel muscles working in the front of your hips. So they're going to be the muscles that are right up at the top of your thigh. You're just going to do this till you feel a little bit of fatigue, and then you're going to slowly lower it down. Back up, hold it there, da-da-da-da-da, feel those muscles work, and slowly back down. You can do 5 to 20 repetitions, just feel for when these muscles are getting a little bit tired. Then you switch to the other side and lift, slowly back down. Lift, hold it there, and slowly back down. The goal here, again, is strengthening your hip flexors. But some of you may not be able to actually lift the leg up that high. You might feel like going here is all you can do, and that's totally okay. What I don't want you to do is try to grab it and force it, because you probably don't have the range of motion available because of some other stuff that's a little bit too weak or a little bit too stiff back here. So for now, you're just gonna work on the range that you have available. If you wanna make this easier, you can lean back and just go like that. You're gonna feel like, oh, my leg is kind of lighter because you've changed some angles here. You've made it a little easier to access some of these hip flexor muscles, and that's fine. That's totally good. Over time, as you get better at this, you can start to come back up, and then if you want to make this harder, you can even do this with a straight leg and start really cranking away on these hip flexor muscles and on your quadriceps muscles. But don't rush to that. For now, just like this is fine. You can also, when you feel ready, add some weight on top of your leg, and then you're gonna feel these muscles getting stronger and stronger. Now you might be asking, why the heck would I want to strengthen my hip flexor muscles when all I ever hear about is how those muscles are tight and they just need to be stretched? And the answer is, it's true. You do need to stretch your hip flexor muscles, almost definitely. You have to have some more length in those muscles so that you can stand up and get full range of motion out of your hip joint. But it's also true that sitting here, or sitting in the couch like this, or sitting in the car like this, results in really atrophied hip flexor muscles. And when you have atrophy, you hurt. You end up with AII, which is AII, atrophy-induced immobility. So if you want to actually have function in your hip joint, around your hip joint, you have to have functional, strong muscles that can move the actual bones that make up the hip joint. But before I go down that scientific rabbit hole, let's talk about exercise number 2, which you can do just leaned over on your couch or your chair or whatever, and you're just going to be kicking your leg back. Okay, so you can do this with your leg just going straight back. So it's like if you have a narrow foot position, you're just going straight back here. Or you could go out to the side, or you could go a little bit in between, or you could go a little bit in between of that. And you can continuously find different angles that feel weak for you. So just play around here, figure out what feels weak, and do that angle a bunch of times. Could be 5 times if you're just feeling really atrophied. It could be 20 times, it could be 15, whatever it is, just go till you feel some fatigue. You wanna feel your butt, you wanna feel a little bit of hamstrings working, that's all good. And then you wanna do the other side. Okay, so just explore again, making sure that you're strengthening these muscles in a way that feels symmetrical. And I emphasize that because you will find that one side is actually weaker than the other side. So let's say you're going here and you're like, man, this side is, oh, it's really tired after 3. And this side, you can do 15 and it's really easy. You could hold it here forever. Well, what you don't want to do is then do an even amount of work for both sides, because this side will never catch up. So you want to do extra repetitions or a whole extra set for the weaker side. That doesn't mean you're going to take an ankle weight and throw it on the weaker side and yell at it and tell it to get stronger, you little wuss. No, what you're going to do is keep it within its current abilities and gradually build up its current abilities so that it catches up to this side. You could use a little bit of weight to accomplish that, but don't expect to do more than it's currently able to just because you say so. And before I forget, yes, you can also do different angles with your hip flexor lift. So you could be straight up in front like so, you could be out to the side like so. It's all good. Whatever feels like a challenge is a good thing to work on. Just make sure you're not feeling any pinching or jamming or whatever, or tearing. You just want to stay within reasonable, moderate challenge limits and don't go blasting through anything because you think you should be better. If you're patient and you gradually build the strength and control, you will be better. And this next one will literally change your life. You've probably lost the ability to do this properly, which is why we're here and why you've been told you have hip arthritis. So you are going to think about keeping your knees straight while you hinge at the hips, meaning here, the axis of rotation is here. The spine isn't the one that's doing the bending. The hips are doing the articulation here. So we're not bending the spine, we're going here. Think about reaching your butt back a little bit and then bending by lengthening the hamstrings. Now, if you saw that and you said, no, I'm not gonna do that because I am not 16 years old, you little whippersnapper. That's cool. I'm in my early 40s. And yeah, you can do this, but it's gonna take you some time. So what you're gonna do is bend your knees a little bit. You're gonna do the same thing. Everything that I said before. Spine stays straight. Reaching your butt back a little bit. Feel the tension building in your glutes and in your hamstrings. Allow yourself to just go where you can go. Don't force this, okay? Feel the stretching. Feel the quivering and shaking, because I know that's what's happening. This is not my first time here. You're gonna be like, what? Why is this? Do I have a disease? Is my brain melting? Are my muscles diseased and rotting away with cancer? And the answer is no. The answer is no. Your muscles are that weak, okay? Your muscles have gotten really short, they've gotten really weak and atrophy aches, and atrophy also causes you to quiver and lose control, and that's okay. Get used to this, because over time, it means you're going to gain the control and it's gonna stop quivering, it's gonna stop shaking, and you're gonna be able to smooth things out and it's gonna feel good, okay? So just slowly get to where you can go, okay? Have your hands on your thighs if you want a little extra help. You can hold on to something and then slowly come back up. Don't force yourself into too much, right? If you feel like, oh boy, something's pinching and jamming, then come out of it. Stop trying to impress me. I don't care. I don't care where you are. Just get to where you can go. Feel that quivering, feel that difficulty, and then slowly come back out. If you want to supercharge this, you can take a light weight. Start with 5, maybe 10 pounds. Hold it in your hands. And you're going to do the same thing, okay? Same thing. The great part about this is that the weight actually teaches your hamstrings to get longer and stronger. As long as you aren't compensating and messing with your spine, just let the hamstrings lengthen, let your back muscles get stronger as they maintain this position, let your glutes stretch a little bit, and then slowly out of it. You do not have to hold that position for a long time. You can just get there, maybe count to 3, count to 5, and then slowly back out. If you feel like your knees are gonna explode, bend your knees, like I was telling you before. Don't push anything, man. Just a little bit of knee bend. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings. Spinal muscles get stronger. Hamstrings stretch out and get stronger. And slowly back up. Highly recommend filming yourself from the side or booking a couple sessions with a personal trainer or somebody who can watch you do this from the side. And make sure that when you're doing it, you're not going, because you will hurt your back. Okay, so over time, as you get a little more control and you learn how to use your spine more, it's not that big a deal to do this. It's just when you are trying to train your hips and trying to train your hamstrings, you need to be very specific about what you feel and how you execute the exercise so you get the right stimulus. You don't want to get caught in this trap of, oh, I'm trying to go further, and then doing this, and then your weak back muscles then go, ba-doing, and then you're not happy, and then you hit the dislike button. With the hinge, you can also play around with your foot position and foot angles, and I highly encourage you to experiment over time. You can do this with your feet wider than shoulders and do that fun little hinge, and when you do it this way, you're gonna feel some different stretching happening in the backs of your hips, backs of your legs. That's all good. Do it. Enjoy it. You can also go a little bit narrower, so maybe shoulder width. You could go super narrow. You can even do this exercise on just one foot. So I'd have one foot just kind of stabilizing and then working on that hinge, getting those muscles to stretch out and then use them to pull me back up. You can hold on to weight, do the same exact thing. Feel the quivering, the shaking, the oh my goodness, and then slowly back out. That's all good. But those are things you can work on in the future after you have worked on just figuring out the coordination of hinging at the hips, using this as the rotational axis, and then coming back up. Sets of 5 to 10 are totally good when you're first starting with this. Just get used to the motion, take your time, don't push anything, and then do 2 to 3 sets so that you have time to feel the awkwardness and then smooth it out. And before I talk about how many times to do all of the exercises, I just want to go down the rabbit hole of hip arthritis. So if you've been told you have hip arthritis and that's causing your hip pain, I want you to look at some of the research around hip arthritis and hip pain. It is vitally important that you understand just how incomprehensible and unscientific the current medical approach to hip pain is. Large-scale studies have shown that arthritis that shows up in an X-ray has absolutely no correlation to symptoms. Meaning, you could have bone-on-bone knee pain, you could have horrific-looking hips, and you might have no symptoms at all. The belief that the damage you see in X-rays is related to your symptoms has not been proven. Even though large-scale studies have shown it to be verifiably false, doctors and surgeons in particular keep pushing this narrative that by addressing the damage, you're going to fix the pain. This is the same narrative that made knee meniscus surgeries one of the most popular and profitable orthopedic surgeries in the United States, even though that surgery has been demonstrated to be no better than a fake placebo surgery. So I encourage you to firmly anchor your mind in the ATM philosophy, which stands for always think muscles. Muscles are the organ of movement. If you have trouble moving bones in a pain-free way, it's because the muscles are not doing the motion correctly for whatever reason. Maybe you got muscles that are just stuck in a shortened position. Maybe they're short and they're weak. Maybe you've got some muscles that are too loose. Whatever it is, you've got to figure out what your muscles need to get better at so that the range of motion at the affected joint can improve in a pain-free way. With your hips, if you've been told you have hip arthritis, you need to realize that the hip joint is wrapped with muscles in all kinds of funky angles, and restoring pain-free range of motion is going to require you to explore, and it's going to require you to stretch and strengthen in many different awkward but fun and exciting angles. So I've shown you these 3 exercises that you can use as a little hip workout. I would encourage you to do 2 sets of each exercise, maybe 3 if it feels good for you. You can do them in circuit fashion, meaning you do the first one, the second one, and the third one, and then repeat for another round for that whole circuit. Or you could do them one at a time and do 2 sets of the first exercise, 2 sets of the second exercise, and 2 sets of the third exercise. However you choose to organize it, just remember to do extra work for the weaker side when you're doing the first 2 exercises. If your hip flexors on one side are obviously weaker, then do some extra reps or an extra set for that weaker side. And if your butt and hamstrings are obviously weaker on this side, then do some extra reps or an extra set for this weaker side. And when you first start out doing these exercises, I strongly suggest you have some days in between. So if you do this on Monday, maybe don't do them again until Wednesday or Thursday. And if you do it on Tuesday, then maybe give yourself until Friday or Saturday so that you can get used to what happens with your body. You might wake up some really dormant, weak muscles, and they may not be happy about it. They might be really angry. But if after a couple days you don't feel any problem, then that's great. Maybe you can do these more. Maybe you can do them a couple times a day and it won't be any big deal for you. But err on the side of caution and just start establishing a steady rhythm that your body can handle and recover from. Remember that slow is safe and fast is foolish. If you've been told your hip pain is from arthritis, I also strongly recommend that you do some stretching for your stiff hip muscles, and I have made videos that show you how to stretch your hip muscles that I will link to in the description box and up above. In the beginning of this video, I mentioned you can get a totally free follow-along workout video featuring the exercises that we've talked about already. If you want that free follow-along video, all you have to do is comment down below and let me know that you want that free follow-along video. If I see more than 200 comments asking for a follow-along version of this video, I will make it and post it for free here on YouTube. So make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you share and tell your friends to comment and tell me that you guys all want this follow-along video. And if you want a program full of follow-along videos to help you rebuild your hips at home, go to uprighthealth.com/DIY and check out the Healthy Hips program. You can also support this channel by using the links you'll find in the description box or by going to uprighthealth.com/donate. For more free videos to help you with your stiff hips, check these videos out here. Like, share, and subscribe with the bell notification on, and as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't.